See if it works. All right, welcome to the market of the moment for the week of February 28th. Getting into the last month of the first quarter. What's up, Chris Madrid?
Hey.
So market continuing to do a lot of the same thing, kind of ticking along, but let's get into it. What's our mortgage rates looking like these days?
You know, it's interesting. So this is, I think we've beat this dead horse, but these are the reasons that it's super important to, obviously to work with somebody that is watching the market, that's familiar with the market, that knows what the market's doing, because, for the entire month of February, right? And then even the first part of March, we saw interest rates do this, right? They're moving on up, right? Now, because of everything going on, in Ukraine and the issues with Russia and all that stuff over there. So today's Thursday. Tuesday, we had a crazy dip in interest rates. So a lot of my customers that are closing in the next 30, 45, 60 days, we were able to get them locked in. And then literally, so that was Tuesday. Yesterday, right? Wednesday, today's Thursday. Wednesday, we saw rates tick right back up, right? So again, all of my buyers that I talked to on Tuesday, we got them locked in. Man, they were able to lock on the dip, right? It's no different than like the stock market, right? If you're watching a particular stock and that sucker dips significantly, you want to buy the dip, right? And then you're hoping to ride the ride the curve on up. Yeah, ride the wave up. So again, that's essentially what happened on Tuesday. We saw them bounce back up yesterday on Wednesday, and then today they're still slightly higher than yesterday, right? So that's the importance of working with somebody that knows the market, that's watching the market, that can tell you like, hey, this is the best that we've seen in the last month. We need to get you locked in now, right? So right now, so as of today, Thursday, 3/3, you can still lock in 3.9 to roughly 4.2 on a 30-year fixed. But on Tuesday, we were locking in 3.7 to 4. So it's just those things that you have to, obviously you have to know, you have to watch, you have to obviously know what to watch, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thankfully rates are still not as high as they were last week. So even though we had a pretty significant increase yesterday, and then today, we're still not as high as we were, because again, just the volatility and the uncertainty in the market. So those are just those things that you kind of have to know and watch to be able to somewhat have, no one has a crystal ball, but we, at least from day to day, can see what the trends are and what the market's going to do. So
yeah, it's been much the same story the last couple months. Incremental increases, then maybe a more significant drop, then back to a ticking back up to where it was at. So staying in touch with your lender, having a great lender like Chris, as we said, very important, especially in this market. You've got to have your financing in place going into the game, as I say, with my coaching background, and just always put your best foot forward. I've got buyers, we're not successful on our offers often, but for me, success is just putting your best foot forward every single time. So I'm just going to encourage my buyers to keep putting their best foot forward.
Absolutely.
If they like the home, that's all you can do. I think you can't just keep shying away. Eventually you're going to get the right one. So stay in touch with your lender. Chris is right. Mortgage rates are like the stock market. When you're getting close to needing to lock in, you need to be watching them most likely by the hour, So you can make that phone call and get locked in at just the right time. So we're talking the last couple of weeks as well. We've talked quite a little bit about affordability. And so wanted to pull up this slide maybe. So we're going to show some numbers of, our average priced home in Collin County these days, Frisco, Prosper, Salina. I've even run in comps over in Melissa and Anna now, and I keep coming up very close to this $500,000 number. So when I started real estate 6 years ago, I probably put in a $300,000 or $400,000 slide up here, but right now the $500,000 slide kind of matches more of our market.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Probably best to look at these numbers. So in January of 2021, which would have been last year, the home loan amount, and Chris and I talked about these mortgage rates. I'm gonna let him talk a little bit more about it. The January 2021 interest rates is that pretty close, Chris? The 2.8%?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so in January 2021, on a $500,000 house, you were looking at a 2.8% mortgage rate, which would put your payment at about $2,054. So
and that's principal and interest, right? So that doesn't include taxes and insurance, but
principal and interest, and these are from Freddie Mac, which is of course our big lender. So all these estimates are based on their appreciation, their mortgage rate projections, which are basically already wrong based on what's happened. So they projected a 12.1% home appreciation, which we know our area, that's pretty accurate. Probably 12 to 15% is our appreciations, depending on what pocket of the market you're in. So in January of 2022, that same $500,000 home now costs you $560,500. And the mortgage interest rate had gone up to about 3.4%. And Chris confirmed this is also pretty accurate.
Until February of 2022.
But now we are a month later from this, and we're talking today about 3.9 to 4.2. So what would that mortgage payment be, Chris, on figuring that let's say 3.9 on 560, 500?
Yeah. Principal and interest on that is $2,644.
So even a $200 difference from a month ago, because you did say the mortgage rate, that's pretty accurate.
Man, in January that was
so in January, you've already, the payment's gone up $200 from if you would have bought that home in January. Freddie Mac's giving, this is national numbers, so they're giving a home appreciation for this year at about 5.3%. Chris and I talking earlier, we're both in agreement. We're probably looking more at another 10 to 12%, most likely, maybe 15% in certain pockets.
For sure.
I ran comps 10 minutes before we started recording this. Still seeing in the Aubrey, Salina area, Prosper, Frisco, anywhere from 12 to 15% average sales price over list. And I was telling Chris, there was a 27% was the max in a neighborhood. So with those kind of numbers, we're both in agreement that the annual home appreciation projection for 2022 for our area is probably still going to be a 12 to 15%. So that's actually going to put, you got your calculator out?
From the 560.
Yeah, so if we go 560 to 500 at a 5.3%, that's 590,207.
Yeah, so that's like 627, right? So that's a 627.
So that's a 627 number. We already know that the interest rate, Chris and I have been talking about for a month, that in 2023, these rates are going to be closer to 5, if not 5. But let's be conservative.
Let's say 4.5. Yeah, if you say 4.5.
I was going to say 4.9, but 4.5 is fine.
Hey,
What's our payment now on our,
Yeah. So again, that 590 number, that we're going to change that to right around 627, right? So 627 at 4.5, your principal and interest is now 3181.
so,
So that's a $700 difference from the January 2022, and a $500 difference from February, right? Because we know that from January to February of this year of 2022, that payment already jumped $200.
yeah. So we could call this segment the cost of waiting, or we could call it an affordability crisis.
Yeah.
Either one fits. But basically, the story is your $500,000 house in January of 2021, basically a year ago, 12 months. At the same time next year is going to cost you basically $1,100 to $1,200 more a month, and over $100,000 more on just purchase price. So the message is, if you're in the market, the time to buy is now. It's not going to get any cheaper. It's only costing you more, when you're waiting. And I still hear it every week when I talk to potential clients or others. They want to seem to wait for this market to cool down. And, I just don't think it's going to anytime soon. So anything to add to that, Chris?
No, I mean, it's these are the conversations that we're having on a weekly and daily basis. And it's almost like, for the most part, we have the conversations, and a lot of people think that you're lying to them, right? Like we're just trying to sell them into a house right now. And that's not the reality. Like, this is not a bubble. Home prices are not going down. And we already know that interest rates will be sporadic, but they're not going down, right? They're not going to be on this type of a trend. They're going to be on this type of a trend.
Yeah.
So again, it has nothing to do with us trying to, sell you into a house or anything like that. We're, at the end of the day, we're really looking out for your best interest, because we know that this is heading upward, right? I mean, at this point, I talk to builders on a weekly and a monthly basis. Builders need to build more homes in order to make up for the inventory shortage that we are seeing here in North Texas, right? But the conversations that I'm having with builders is they don't want to overbuild. One, there's no consistency in cost right now, right? Material, labor, all that stuff. It's so sporadic what they're able to get and things that they need to put into a home. So there's no consistency in cost. So they're having to plan accordingly, and they're not building as many homes on purpose, and they have no intention this year to overbuild, right? We need, like, and I can't remember the specific numbers, but we need, I don't know, 2 million homes, something like that, right? Would you agree? Like 2 million to 3 million homes to even make up for the shortage, and that doesn't take into account the continued number of people moving into North Texas, right? So it's the shortage issue is not going to correct itself overnight. I mean, this is a 3, 4, 5 year problem, right? It's not going to be a 2022 or even a 2023. I mean, this is a 2025, 26 problem.
Yes.
So anyway.
Yep. Yeah, the inventory shortage builders, I hear, is anywhere from 3 to 7 million. I know that's quite a wide range, but that's 3 million is a bunch. 7 million definitely, but I would agree. I think builders, in light of what happened in 07, 08,
and they're not going to overbuild for sure.
Are not going to overbuild again. So they're business people, and so all right, well, let's move on to our current market. Things look a lot like they did last week, looking a lot like they have the last couple months, and it's basically because there's nowhere for these numbers to go. Some of these numbers are pretty much bottomed out from what it can be on days on market, it has to be pretty much on the market 4 to 5 days. That's climbing right now as a product of agents purposely leaving listings on the market through a Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Used to put it on the market on Thursday and take offers on Saturday or Sunday. Now they're putting it on Thursday and they're taking offers till Tuesday, and they're not executing a contract until basically Thursday by the time they negotiate it out and get it executed. So that's your 7 days, where even 6 months ago, last year, it went on the market on a Thursday. You got it under contract and executed on Saturday or Sunday. That's where we saw the 3 to 4 days on market. So there's a reason for 7 days on market here in Collin and Denton County. And the sales price to list price stayed about the same last week. But once again, I was running comps, seemed to run them every day, all day, much of the time. And, pockets in Collin County, I had one 27% over list came in, and the average in that neighborhood, which is Sutton Fields. So Sutton Fields, off the tollway.
Yeah, Aubrey.
Aubrey, just north of Fish Trap. It's actually Salina, Aubrey, but it's Prosper ISD, which is one of your hotter ISDs. And your average list price or sales price to list in that neighborhood is 15%, and with a max of 27% over. So that's what's happening in that area, and that's actually Denton County. So if you're going out there, don't think that you can necessarily go in at 3% over list price and have a chance, because you're probably not going to. But in all of our counties, everything stayed the same except in Dallas. The month supply actually climbed 1/10 of a month, which is really not significant. Almost didn't put it on there, but trying to keep things up to date. Tarrant County, Parker County stayed exactly the same. Just a tad over list in Tarrant. As Chris mentioned last week, I think, any of these counties we show you, if it's a top of the line house, with all your, newer finish outs and things of that nature, you better be prepared to look at 7 to 10% over at probably the bare minimum. So I've actually started giving my buyers, kind of changed my strategy a little bit, and I'm kind of, showing my buyers, what a 10% over ask looks like, what a 12% looks like, what a 15% looks like, and what a 20% looks like. And they kind of have to make that decision on where they're comfortable and where, me as a professional is comfortable for them paying. There's some houses in some neighborhoods I wouldn't encourage them to pay 15% over. In Sutton Fields, I would encourage them to pay 17 to 20% over in that neighborhood, because I know Prosper ISD is going to be hot for a minute. So
absolutely, for sure.
So anyway, you really need an agent that's breaking these numbers down, breaking it down based on school districts, because there are differences in resale. And life happens. You never know. You think you're getting in something for 5, and it unfortunately might end up being 2. For one thing or another, jobs and things of that nature. So make sure you're always looking at resale as well. It's different in different areas. Next thing I want to talk about today is why your home inspection matters, because in this hot market, many agents are encouraging or allowing their buyers to go in with 0-day option period, not doing inspections and not asking for repairs. This slide here actually, gives you a number from the National Association of Realtors. The latest data shows that 19% of buyers are waiving that home inspection. that's a national number. I would say if it's 19% nationally, that it's probably 25% or more in our market in these conditions.
Yeah.
Personally, as a buyer's agent, I would never encourage my buyers to not inspect a home. We always ask for, a couple days options. I don't know if that hurts us in this market right now. I don't think it has, because I think it just boils down to money. But I'm going to talk to you just a little bit of why I would still do an inspection, even in this market. Unless that home was built in 2021, something of that nature, and you still maybe have some builder warranties, something of that nature. Maybe the people that's selling it bought it last year and they still have the inspection from their purchase, and maybe some documentation of things they had fixed. Some of those things maybe would lead me to be a little more comfortable without an inspection. But I like to tell the listing agent, look, we'd like to, have a couple days. We're going to inspect it. Unless it's, if it's not falling down, we're not going to ask for anything, but we need that comfort. So, first let's, what does an inspection do? Our inspections that our inspectors do, which is Viking inspections, run, anywhere from 500 to 650 for the total package. That would be termites, moisture intrusion detectors, foundation leveling, all of those things. So the full package, probably $600, might be the best $600 you ever spent once you get into a property. $600 can certainly save you tens of thousands of dollars. Things that can be hidden. So anyway, home inspections, basically what it does, it inspects and assesses the condition of a home. In Texas, I know it's different, obviously different states, but in Texas, our inspectors are licensed through TREC, our real estate commission. They are audited. Thus, they look for everything. If there's a doorstop missing, they're going to write it down. So they are definitely going to catch, the little things in most instances. And so why it matters is when you're making a significant purchase, which my home is, Chris and I have just been talking about the purchase price, the monthly payment that you're going to be making, and it is significant. It is most likely the most significant purchase that a person or a couple family makes in their life. So getting an inspection ensures you know what condition it's in to avoid any surprises down the road. Some of those surprises could be a tree root growing through a sewer line between the house and the street, and the city tells you that's your responsibility, and that ends up costing $15,000 to $20,000 by the time you get your yard dug up and the new sewer line replaced.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Doesn't that sound beautiful? Maybe you don't inspect it, and the last roofer just slapped the shingles on and didn't replace the damaged decking. And when you get it, you find out the roof decking is rotting or something of that nature. HVAC systems. So what the home inspector is looking for, as it varies state to state, most of them are looking for the condition of the roof. They're looking for plumbing and electrical issues. They're looking for HVAC and heating system problems, structural concerns such as foundation issues. And then, lastly, they're looking for exterior rot or decay. And, as a buyer's agent, when I'm walking up, I'm looking for these things myself before we ever walk into the home. And while my buyers are, inspecting the home for if it meets their needs, I'm doing a little visual inspection of the home myself, looking for some of these things that I can just see as a professional that, sees houses often. So, and then as a buyer's agent in this market, you're going to only most likely focus on these 5 things when negotiating any repairs, if you get to negotiate any in this market. But in a normal market, it's really these are the things you're looking for. And any safety issues, which would be your electrical and things.
Yeah.
So even in this market, an inspection is important. I think most sellers will give you a chance to do one if you go into it, letting them know that you're not looking for anything except these major concerns. So ultimately, as a buyer, it's going to be your decision whether or not you waive your option period and your opportunity. Actually, I'll stop there. Just because you don't take an option period doesn't mean you don't have the right to inspect the home. Anytime during your under contract and under an executed contract, you have the right to inspect the home, even with a 0 option period. So I don't think a lot of people know that. I think there's some agents out there that don't realize that you have the right to inspect that home during your time under contract. So you have anything you'd like to add to inspections from the lending side?
No, I mean, it's whether you're doing conventional FHA or VA financing, it is looked at a little bit different. A lot of people, real estate agents included, think just because you're doing an FHA loan or a VA loan that it's significantly different than someone that's doing conventional financing, right? What happens a lot of the times is the appraisers will still, even on conventional financing, they're going to walk through the home, right? They're going to do a visual inspection of the home because they're required to. They're going to, in some cases they have to walk through some doors, right? So they're going to open and close doors. If they walk through and there's one that they got to jerk it a little extra hard for it to open because it sticks, then most likely they're going to make their appraisal report subject to an inspection, like a foundation. In this instance, that would be a foundation inspection or a foundation, possible foundation issue.
Yeah.
So, there are some differences from what the appraisers are looking for. Again, they're not inspectors, but they still have to kind of do their own due diligence, right, to make sure that the value that they're providing, is based on a home that's essentially up to par. Now, a conventional inspection is a little bit different from VA, where like a VA appraiser will go if they see like chipping paint on the outside, right? A lot of the garage doors have that little area where it's painted, and typically on the fireplace, like the exterior portion of the fireplace where the flute that comes out, right? If it has paint and it's chipped, they're gonna want all that sanded and repainted. So there are some things that are a little bit different, but man, at the end of the day, the appraiser is still looking to make sure that the home is safe, sound, sanitary, and secure, right? If a conventional appraiser is walking through a home and there's a inch gap in the sheetrock, he's not going to just like turn the other way, right? It's his job to say, hey, you probably need to get that looked at. Same thing for FHA, same thing for VA. So a lot of people think just, oh well, somebody's doing conventional financing, that they're just going to look the other way, and that's not the case. So
yeah. Okay. Yep. It is basically the appraiser's job to make sure that property is worth lending on. And if it's got structural issues, in their opinion, it's probably not. So,
yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap it up. There's a lot of real estate news out there today, as always, but this is the best source because we are local and we're up to date on it. It's not a week old. So anyway, anything to add before we head out, Chris?
Oh man, y'all have a great weekend. Appreciate you tuning in today.
You too, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Morning.
Oh yeah.